rocks at the agents. If they were truly asylum seekers, they would have just walked up with their hands up and surrendered, and that did not take place.
Yesterday at the border reminded us that the media hand-wringing over this expanding caravan is getting worse by the day, as I just said. But there is one exchange in particular that stood out. Watch.
I wanted to challenge you on one of the statements that you made in the tail end of the campaign. In the midterms, that this caravan was an invasion. As you know, Mr. President,
I consider it to be an invasion.
As you know, Mr. President, the caravan was not an invasion. It's a group of migrants moving up from Central America towards the border with the U.S. But your campaign had an ad showing migrants climbing over walls and so on.
Well, that's true. But they weren't actors.
They're not going to be doing that.
They weren't actors.
They're hundreds of miles away, though. They're hundreds and hundreds of miles away. That's not an invasion.
None of these reporters should still be working in this business. It is a dereliction of duty. There should be a price to be paid there. Joining us now, how the media missed the story from the start, purposely missed the story, is Molly Hemingway, senior editor from The Federalist. Molly, what are the chances that Jim Acosta apologizes for not only getting this wrong, but telling the president he was wrong?
It is really an amazing exchange to go back and look at. It looked bad at the time, the way he was pontificating and giving his opinion, which was not based in fact, the way he was belligerent with that reporter. That was an embarrassment at the time. After this weekend, it is a complete and utter humiliation. And this is the guy who is sort of the mascot of the White House press corps. They've decided to make him the guy that they all rally behind. And he could not have been more wrong about the facts, but he's actually just doing what a lot of media have done. There have been so many false statements said about this caravan, whether it's that it's largely comprised of women and children, or that these are valid asylum seekers, or that there is no criminal element, or that they will never make it to the border, or that they will never scale the border, or that they are no threat to sovereignty and they're no threat to the United States. All of that was completely exploded this weekend, and it would be nice to see the media react more honestly about that. Instead, they're doing what you pointed out in the first segment, which is taking a picture of one woman and her children and making them.
I saw that coming a mile away. Didn't you see that a mile away? Once they got the photo of the woman wearing the tangled shirt, or whatever that cartoon character was, and you knew that was going to be it, because that is the lazy man's way of reporting a story. Lazy, lazy, lazy. Do your job. Put your Trump bias in the back seat for 5 seconds and try to be honest about this story. I find it appalling. I got to play something for you, Molly, that even you may not believe. This is Mike Lupica, who's really good at writing about sports, is now a political guy. This is what he said. Let's watch. I think we have the Mike Lupica. Do we have it? It's coming.
And I keep asking this question. When's the first guy from the caravan going to shoot up a synagogue on a Saturday morning? When's the first person from a caravan going to shoot up a dance club in Southern California or a country music festival in Las Vegas? Every time there's another mass shooting in this country, one of my first reactions after I'm struck again by the horror of the routineness in this country is, please don't let it be an immigrant.
Please don't let it be an immigrant. Real quick, Molly.
Well, human nature is the same across immigrant or non-immigrant populations. What comments like that are doing are saying that you aren't allowed to have a conversation about rule of law, national sovereignty, borders. That's inappropriate.
All right, Molly Hemingway, thanks so much. We have a lot more to get to. This story is breaking as we speak tonight. Stay right there. Patrol. This is what Allison Camerata, who I've always liked, but she's on another network. This is her argument about the current crisis now, and why what we're seeing is a sign that everything's working. We don't need a wall. Let's watch.
Shutting down the border worked, and it also proves that we don't need a border wall, because the migrants they went out of their way to go to the Tijuana entrance because the rest of the border was considered too hazardous, too dangerous to cross. So they went an extra hundreds of miles to the port of entry of Tijuana because they considered that the easiest. So, in other words, the system is actually working.
Did some reporter, was a reporter in a control room whispering, say that? I mean, she can't actually believe that.
The reason why the rest of the border is so dangerous is because it's so controlled by the drug cartels. And the drug cartels are getting their funding from exactly the same smugglers who are smuggling these individuals to the United States. We are supporting the drug cartels by allowing these individuals to be smuggled into our country.
We just said the other sectors are being overwhelmed as we speak right now.
Absolutely.
Every day of the week. So it's like, oh, it's a sign it's working. I got to play one more thing. Tearjerker moments. Rick Wilson on another network tonight. Let's watch.
This is not just, the terrible threat of little shoeless girls wearing a Hello Kitty backpack at the border. Oh my God, whip out the tear gas. But it's done deliberately and methodically and cruelly.
So Trump is doing this cruelly, focusing on the little girl with the Hello Kitty backpack.
Border Patrol agents are getting rocked along the border. I've been in a Border Patrol vehicle that got hit by a cinder block, and I can tell you right now, Laura, it's the sort of thing that you really want to have a strong response to. We need to have a strong response so we can make sure that our agents are safe, and that's what the president